it's finding the voice and trying to be okay, but finding that it often creates disappointment for other people, and not having to take care of them and take care of oneself. I grew up in my life with my older brother and his friends calling me a sissy because I danced. I didn't play sports. I wasn't a hoodlum. I didn't do the things. I wasn't happy doing the things that they did. So I was judged and evaluated as a person. So I had to find an okay place in my life to live how I knew I was comfortable and happy. I say we live in a world of miracles, in a sea of process. So the series of miracles is how we make choices to make ourselves happy, not always comfortable. Comfort zones can be dangerous. And sometimes we seek comfort in being quiet, listening, and taking abuse, taking on other people's processes or thoughts, feelings, and they're not even ours. So the practical application is really be in touch with ourselves and know how we feel, and then find places in the world to express that. And there are examples of that practically throughout history. Einstein failing in school, being kicked out of school. Funny stories about how we operate and trying to find approval in systems that will not give us that approval. And then go out and excel, beyond what is possible, and it becomes possible. We bring things here that people will say is impossible, But my practical application of that was I was blessed to come out in show business. I sang. At 3 years old, I was performing. So I was getting the adoration and the approval from other people for what I did, for who I am. And then I started dancing at 7, and man, I was happy. And I could excel and I could compete with myself. I never competed with somebody else. I didn't have to prove anything, except could I do it better? Could I stretch more? Could I do splits on both sides? Could I leap in the air higher? Could I do whatever it was? And that always made me completely happy. And of course, basically who I am, I really tranced out. I really just spaced out all the time in that happiness, in that joy of the music, of what made me feel whole and wonderful. And then of course, when that was off, then I went back into my life and it's like, oh my God, it isn't that. So practically I had to conform to say, oh, I better behave smart in this or I'm going to get beat up terribly. And so I avoided and dodged and, did everything I could to take myself away from it and live with it best I could. And that's been my blessing my whole life.